What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my podcast and my YouTube channel. Before we get started with this amazing success story, I want to thank you guys so much for all of your love, all of your support, and well wishes for my birthday. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you to everyone who has even just sent me something on PayPal. You guys did not have to do that. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your continued support in this channel. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe because we have so many more amazing success stories just like this one. You've read the title. My client has had a big quantum leap. A quantum leap within 24 hours. There were things that would just started rolling in. And the backstory is we had a little come to Jesus moment because she was always going back to reinforce the old story. And one of the things that she was doing, which I will tell you guys, this is something that I don't feel that a lot of people realize that they're doing this, but I see it over and over again. I've done it too, so don't think that I'm crapping on any of you guys. But the thing here is that you're using manifestation or your desires as a way to fix the very version of you that can't actually have what you want. And every time you keep trying to soothe that version through trying to get those desires to fix certain things, you're trying to carry the identity of the one who is not and trying to make it into being the one that will be. So you're trying to drag the old story along and trying to connect it when those two realities, they're two different realities and they do not string together, right? So I see this a lot in clients and a lot of you guys in the comments. So it's trying to comfort the old story. And what you're doing is you're actually telling the mirror, I'm still this expression of awareness. So understand that manifestation is not about fixing the old story or old identity. It's not about constantly talking yourself off the ledge of fear or endlessly affirming just to keep the old self calm. Because when you do that, you're actually worshiping the old state and you're babysitting it and you're making it the center of your focus. And here's the thing, you guys, whatever you focus on, you feel. Whatever you keep alive in your awareness, you expand. So if you keep soothing the version of you who doesn't feel chosen, who doesn't feel worthy, who doesn't feel rich, you're actually telling creation, this is who I am. This is the version of me that I believe in. And so the thing was, she thought that she needed to build a business in order to fix and become worthy of the version of herself that she really wanted to be. But she was always coming from the version of herself that wasn't that. And she had this story of all of these things, all of these traumas she was holding on to. And she was using her desires that if I become successful in this business, if I, you know, people see me a certain way through this business, through this success, through making money doing this, then I'll finally feel like I'm worthy enough to be somebody. And remember, you are already worthy, you guys. I am is asking nothing of you except to express that which you already are. But she was always using the desires that was being called forth within, the things that she already would go within and see as done. She was coming out of her imaginal scenes and then using her desires to fix the version who was not that, the identity who was not that. And so when we had our little come to Jesus moment, we drew that line in the sand. And I was like, listen, we cannot keep going back. We gave it a few days, but once we came back to talking, oh my gosh, the way that the universe just started pouring things on her lap when she really stepped into her true identity. So I want to share some of her insights and I want to share some of the things that started happening to her really instantly, really rapidly, you guys, like 24 hours. She's in a brand new life. She really quantum leap when she just decided, you know what? I am source and I don't have to fix that old version. Understand nothing about that old version of you needs to be fixed, okay? So, one of the first amazing things that happened to her was she got a check for 5K. And she got that in the mail. And she ended up doing a event for her business. And before, she couldn't see how amazing that opportunity was when she was still looking through the lens of I'm not worthy yet, but really understanding that she was already the person that she wanted to be. She hosted an amazing event that turned out really great. And through that, the business, the way that she wanted to make it happen, once she let that go, the business approach solved itself. The way that it was going to unfold solved itself because the first client discovered her. The first client came to her, was like, "Hey, do you offer services in this?" And the client pretty much, came to her, found her. And then she got another potential client. And she's getting emails now to host events for her business from local businesses that she can partner with. And it's just been this one thing after another that once the ball started rolling, it's now keeping on rolling. And it's only been by now 48 hours. But also, too, her boyfriend confessed his love for her, and she really wanted to hear that. So that's been amazing. She's a totally different person. Just our call was so amazing. Her energy was so amazing, totally different than when we first started. So, some of her insights that she understood is so much of what I tell you guys, but to hear it in her own words has truly been amazing. So, the first thing was she said that understanding her identity as source, it clicked and she realized that all the panic, the anxiety attacks, the back and forth, and not being solid in who she was at source, she understood that it was something that the character in that undesired story was experiencing, and that she didn't have to continue to identify as that version. And she got that it was only one perception of I am, but not who she was as the whole of her. And so, number two, if you're soothing the character, you are reinforcing it. So she noticed all the thoughts that are floating around are options, and I don't have to choose or invite them in. I don't have to choose them. I don't have to invite them in. I don't have to entertain them. And so the next thing she realized, she said, was understanding I was never going to get out of guilt or shame because of the story I had about me needing to be worthy. I needed to work for my desires to be worthy or or a good enough person for good things to happen to. I just had to stop telling that story because it was reinforcing that there was something to be guilty and ashamed about. And that was the one that I really, really love that clicked for her, because I tell you this all the time. You guys, when you are trying to get rid of your guilt and shame or trying to work it out through manifestation, using your manifestation to solve this guilt and shame that you believe is there, you're just going to keep reinforcing that there is something for you to be guilty and ashamed about. Remember, guilt you, for you to be guilty and ashamed about something, you have to keep telling a story that there's something there for you to be guilty and ashamed about. And this is something that you're not going to solve. This is something that you're just going to have to stop telling that story and choose another identity. So she just realized that I'm never going to work it out. This story is never going to be worked out. And I just have to leave it as it is and choose from the infinite the story of I am the person that I want to be. So she stopped trying to fix the guilt and shame, stopped trying to use her desires to rewrite that story of guilt and shame, because it just kept her in a cycle of there's something here that I'm guilty and ashamed about, and I need to figure it out. I need to solve it. And number four, she said, understanding that these desires are not the separate self's desires. It is I am's desires, my true nature's desires, that want to be expressed through this body and mind portal. So if I can rest the human or the belief that the character is the doer of this, and believe that I can experience my desires coming through me easily, I can experience it because creation is finished. And I love that, you guys. I love that she surrendered the human or the character being the one that was doing anything. She returned to her I am. She returned to source, and she rested in that. And she knew that if already within creation is finished, I've saw myself being who I wanted to be, then I must rest in my true nature as I am, and know that the Father within will do the work, will move through this body and this mind to naturally do it. And what is that, you guys? That is you being one with your source. That is this character in I am being one and moving as one. So there's no separation there in between you two. And so once that happens, you're moving as one, as you always are, but you recognize it. You recognize it now. All right. And so the last thing she said was understanding my inner senses and inner world are the true reality. That when I go within and I'm using my senses, it's happening now. And I've experienced it as my true nature. So I can trust that the outer reality will produce a reflection of what I've accepted within. And that helps me to detach the when, the who, and the how, because I know that I'm already experiencing it within. So she really just got it. She really just drew the line in the sand and was like, look, am I using these desires to fix and to soothe the identity, or try to figure out that identity and make it better before I move on? Or am I just going to identify as my true nature as source, wake up from the story, not trying to fix the story, wake up from it, and then choose again? She went back to her true nature as source. She had the miracle. And reality really showed it instantly, because, again, manifestation is instant once you shift your perception, you guys. There's nothing that needs to be changed. So, here's something I really want to talk to you guys about. Number one is accepting the current circumstance as one reality, not the reality. So, again, this is just one reality, but not the only one. The current version of you in your life is not all that there is. It's just one selection, one frequency, one perception that you've tuned into. But infinite other versions exist. So you don't need to fight it, fix it, or judge it, because, again, it's the judgments that she had about herself, that version that she felt was not it, the version that she felt went through all of those things. And those things need to be corrected before I can leave this version, which had a totally different reality that was conducive for that version. She felt that all of that needed to be changed before she could move on and accept who she was. But you're never going to solve it, because that version and that reality is perfect for that version of you who was not it. And it's the judgments that we make about it that keep us looping in it. Again, it's simply the reflection of where your awareness has been. And again, nothing about that version needs fixing. Again, I'm going to keep telling you guys this because I really need you guys to get this. You're never going to get out of an undesired reality. You have to wake up from it by not trying to fix it. You have to wake completely up from it by remembering that you are the source. And then you get to choose from the infinite potential. So even if you're in a reality you don't prefer, the version of you inside of it doesn't need to be healed, perfected, or worthy in order to shift. There is nothing wrong with the current self. The self is innocent. You have to see that the self, the character, is innocent. It is just a role that you've played. The you in this reality doesn't need rescuing. You don't have to make them comfortable or change them before you can become someone else or be someone else in the only moment that exists. All realities are playing out at the same time. So you don't have to wait in order to shift, because that reality of that version is still going to go on, but your awareness is not going to be tuned into it. And the next thing I want to share with you guys is shifting is choosing, not fixing. Remember, you're not changing anything, you're choosing. So once she left that version as it was, okay, she's fine the way she is. That life is fine the way that it is. I don't have to understand it. I don't have to fix it. All I'm going to do is choose as my true nature, as I am. I'm going to go within and see things be the way that I want them to be. And I trust that. So you don't shift because you believe that something is broken. You shift because you are free to choose, you guys. That's what you have to understand about being the operant power. You shift because you are free to choose. So the act of trying to fix or change something implies that you're still identified with it. She was trying to change, she was trying to fix, she was trying to use her desires that was in a reality already done. She was trying to use those desires to bring it over to the the old identity, the one that was not that, to try to make that old identity become the new identity, instead of leaving that as it was and assuming that she was already the identity who had all her desires, right? And again, understand, you guys, that it's okay to be where you are. You don't have to hate where you currently are to desire something new. In fact, indifference or acceptance is often the doorway to the effortless shifts. So the old you doesn't need to be condemned or rejected, they can be loved and released. And again, you're not the circumstances, you are the awareness of it. So the key is to stop personalizing the circumstance as you, because you've made the circumstance you. That's what she was doing. She was like, I'm the one that went through this. I'm the one that went through the traumas. Instead of seeing that she was the awareness watching it, she was taking all the circumstances to be her. And that's what keeps us locked in and looping. It's not who you are. It's just one lens, one experience that I am is observing. And you are the I am that can express in limitless ways. So the version you're currently expressing is one possibility, but it's never the final say. So the last thing I really want to talk about is the power of identifying with the truth, with your I am. This is really all that you need to do, you guys, because in I am is your desires already completed within I am, not within a circumstance or within the 3D, within I am. When she went back to her true nature, all of her desires were already there in her true nature, not within her as the character, but behind the character within I am. And she could choose from the infinite. So again, you're not the character. You are the I am behind the character. And the true you is not the identity, not the storyline, not the circumstances. The true you is always awareness itself, I am, and the one who calls forth any identity at will. So the version of you that already has it is not someone you're becoming. There's someone you're calling forth right now and experiencing in increasing portions. Again, because you're the operant power, the I am who makes the selection, the awareness that makes the selection, that chooses the perception. So, one thing I want you guys to understand is I am has no past. You have to understand this. When you identify as I am, that is only the now moment. There is no past. It only is. So the I am is not carrying a backstory. The character in the story that, or the perception that you're taking on, that's the one that has a story, a past, a present, a perceived future. But when you're identifying as the I am doesn't have a backstory. So it doesn't have to reason with logic and it doesn't measure time. It simply just says, I am. And it is. So that's why manifestation doesn't require fixing old versions or overcoming the past. So you're not identifying with trying to become the new you. You are the I am just selecting a new reflection. So when you stop dragging around the past, you remember I am has never been anything but whole, complete, and fulfilled. So it just is. It just is. When I say that I am that, it just is. And the last thing I want you guys to understand is manifestation always happens through identification, not effort. The desire already exists within your I am, and there is no separation. So when you stop identifying with lack and choose the version of you that has, things move. And it won't be because you sat there and forced it to, didn't try to make the desire fix something from the past. You just simply woke up and remembered who you were. So again, you're not chasing the desire. You're not fixing your way to it. You're calling it forth by standing in the knowing that you already are the one. And that's what it is done really means. So again, I have to pull this Neville quote from my brain really quick. And it says that you are not moving towards a desire. You are moving from it. So you're moving from the I am from within. When she went within and she remembered that this is who I am. It is I am within me that is experiencing this. So I'm moving from my desired end, from the fulfillment. I've already experienced it. It must be happening right now. Not moving towards something. I'm moving from it. Then the clients found her. All the potentials, everything found her because it was coming out of her, because she was moving from fulfillment instead of, okay, I'm not that. And I feel like I need to fix something. I need to use this desire to get something, to become something. That's you trying to move towards something as a separate self. But she remembered, she rested, and she was like, I am that. And her life, I'm telling you guys, beautiful, amazing. And I just have to say that all of my clients, if you're listening to this, every single one of you guys has had such amazing shifts, like instantaneous shifts. And I'm just so grateful and so proud to be talking and sharing this work with you. And yeah, you guys, I really hope that you understand that the key here is to get those instant shifts. You have to stop using your desires because, again, creation is finished. You have to stop using the desires to fix the reality or the identity of the one who is not it. You let that identity and that reality be what it is. You don't change it. Remember, you're only choosing. And you go within as I am, and you choose from the infinite, not as this separate self, this separate one that's thinking that it's doing, but from your true nature. And I'm telling you, amazing things can happen to you too. So, if you would like to work with me one on one, all the information is down in the description box below. Please like and subscribe for more content. And remember, you guys, your imagination, your inner world is always on your side, and I am too. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.